Hello, this is the Friday afternoon Hands to Heart Center live stream, the Gentle Yoga. And we'll get started in a few moments. My name is Jessi. In the meantime, feel free to make your space ready for class. There's no specific props for today, but if you'd like to use blocks or books, you are certainly welcome to, and it might be nice to have a blanket, towel, fluffy sweatshirt to layer on. It's a little bit cool here in Boston today, as well as sometimes it's just nice to have a little extra cushioning if you find yourself in a posture where you need a bit of support. So no props required, but if you'd like to have any in your space, feel free to grab those, any water, anything else you'd like to have with you. We'll get started in a minute or so. We'll get started in just about a minute or so. So if you're joining this video after the stream, you can skip ahead about a minute and we'll be getting started. All right, welcome. My name is Jessi, and I'm a volunteer with Hands to Heart Center. I'm glad to be here today for the Hands to Heart Center and Boston Public Library live stream Friday afternoon Unwinding yoga class. Hands to Heart Center is Yoga for the People, a nonprofit organization in Boston focused entirely on making yoga and its healing benefits more accessible to folks. So taking yoga outside of studios and into community spaces, especially people where people are experiencing vulnerabilities. And Boston Public Library is partnering with Hands to Heart Center to make these Friday afternoon streams possible. And again, my name is Jessi. I'm a volunteer with Hands to Heart Center, and I'm happy to be here today. Today's practice will be aimed at soothing and unwinding from the week. There are no specific props needed. However, if you like to practice with blocks or blankets or any other prop, feel free to have it and use it as you would like. It could be very nice today, particularly because it's a chilly day in Boston, to have a blanket, towel, fluffy sweatshirt that you can use to layer on if you're feeling cool, as well as just have around. Sometimes it can be nice to boost yourself up with a bit of cushioning during the practice. And I invite you today to take everything as an invitation. Everything I'm offering, I bring with an open heart, without expectation. So if your body's disagreeing for any reason, feel free to modify a lot or modify a little bit. Your body will be able to tell you what it needs, and if you're listening, you can adapt as needed. And I just encourage you to follow the fun, follow the joy, and what feels really great in your body. We'll be spending about an hour together today. And I will be on screen the entire time, modeling and demoing. I'll also aim to give very specific cues, so if you wanted to do the entire class with your eyes closed, you would be able to, but I will be on the screen for you the whole time. And let's get started by coming down onto our backs. And we'll be on our backs for a few moments. And as you find your way down, go ahead and keep the soles of your feet on the floor so that your knees are extended upward, and then your entire upper body lays down onto the mat. And if this feels comfortable to leave the feet and legs in this position, definitely feel free to do that. If you're someone who really enjoys legs extended, that is certainly an option here. And the other thing you might enjoy is keeping the knees bent, stepping the soles of the feet out towards the edges of the mat, and letting the knees drop in towards each other. This can be a nice release of the hips. I find it particularly helpful after long days of sitting. Hands, you might take palms down along the sides of your body, or palms on the belly. Gaze can gently look upward towards the ceiling, or if it's comfortable for you, feel free to close the eyes. And as you rest here for a few moments, just start to sense what your body feels like. Maybe the rate of your breath, how the feet feel on the mat. Notice the back pressing against the mat. Your energy level might be sluggish or tired, or feeling very energized, overly energized perhaps. So the point of this check-in is just to note how it is that you're feeling. No need to label or attach a judgment. And start to deepen and slow the breath so that the breath fills up the belly, the ribs, the chest, and on the exhale, all the air flows out. We'll take several cycles of deep, slow breath. The air is like a wave that fills the body. And on the exhale, the wave recedes. Each breath slightly deeper, slightly slower than the ones that came before it. And notice the breath filling up the back body, the inhale pressing against the mat. If your hands are on the belly, you might notice the rise, the fall, as the air comes in and out. On each inhale, the belly fills with air, ribs expand, chest lifts as you feel the whole back body press into the mat. And on the exhale, the wave of breath recedes as the air leaves the body. Legs and feet remain heavy regardless of what position they're in. Hands are soft. Check in with the space around your eyes. Is there any softening in the small muscles around the eyes that can happen? Could the brow get any smoother? And as you continue these deep, slow breaths, notice your jaw. Is there any space between your upper teeth and lower teeth? And if you find that there's not, or perhaps even that the teeth are clenched and the jaw is held, see if you can invite any softening in that area. See if the shoulders can feel at ease, as if they're melting or sinking into the mat. Can the pelvis and hips feel heavy? And invest the breath in softening any other area of the body that could release even just a tiny bit. And stay with this pattern of deep, slow, intentional breathing for a few more waves of breath. And as you do, invite any parts of your body that could release a little bit more. It could become slightly heavier, slightly softer. Invite them to do so. And as you stay on the back and continue to breathe, I have a short poem I'd like to offer. It is called Clearing, and it's written by Martha Postulate. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worth of rescue. And as you take these few moments here on your back, on the mat, enjoying the breath, can you take this time to make a clearing in your own life for the next hour of practice, where you can create some space for breath and for movement and for your own care. And on your next exhale, bring the knees into the chest. So you'll lift up your feet and bring your knees inward. You might take your hands and place them behind your knees, or you may find that you want to take your hands and place them on the shins, on the front of your legs. So either underneath the knees or in front of the shins. And you'll draw the knees in towards the belly and chest. Your arms will bend. Your head stays on the ground. And as you inhale, straighten the arms. Let the knees follow as they push into the hands. So the arms straighten and the knees move away from the chest a few inches. And as you exhale, bend the arms. Let the hands guide the knees back in towards the belly and the chest. Your inhale invites a straightening of the arms as the knees move away from the chest and belly. And the exhale, elbows bend and hands guide the knees back in. And as the knees come in, the wave of breath exits the body. Take a few more rounds at your own pace, extending the arms and letting the knees come out from the body, and then bringing them back in. See how slow and smooth you can make these motions. Inhale as the arms straighten. And exhale as they bend. Take 2 more. Can these be your slowest, smoothest? The slower you move, the more you will notice. And once you've completed your 2, keeping the hands on the knees and the knees together, we'll start to draw circles. So it's as if you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with your knees. So your knees stay together and you're just beginning to churn the legs. You can be moving in either direction here. And the breath is free flowing. There's no special coordination. And as you move, you'll feel the low back press into the ground. You feel the circles around the sacrum and pelvis. And go the other direction with the circle, so the opposite direction. Keeping the knees together, circling the legs around. Breath flows freely and smoothly. And after your next circle, pause in the center. From here, you'll straighten your knees, feet sent up towards the sky. You can take your hands here and place them palms face down on the mat. Toes reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you reach the toes back towards your chin, flexing the feet. And exhale as toes move forward to the point of the feet. Inhale to flex back. Feel a stretch in the back of the legs. Exhale, toes come forward, stretch down the shins in front of the feet. Inhale to flex. And exhale to point. One more time. Inhale to flex. And exhale to point. Take an inhale with your legs up. And then exhale from the knees, you're bending. So your shins and feet come down to be parallel with the floor. Inhale to lift and straighten the legs, toes face up toward the ceiling. And exhale, shins, feet, calves come parallel with the floor. Hands can still be by your sides, palms face down. Slowly and gently lifting the legs up on the inhale. And exhale to lower. One more time, legs and feet reach up. And exhale as you lower down. Here, you will take the hands back to the outsides of the knees, right on the kneecap. And option to repeat the circles that we did with the knees together, or if you're looking for some more hip opening, you can draw the knees out to the sides so they're both moving away from your body. And move them down, and when your arms are straight and the knees come back together. And then the arms bend, knees comes toward the chest. Knees go out to the side and around as the arms straighten and they bend back in. So continuing to make circles here, either the first circles that we did or adding on here with the wider hip circles. Using your hands to guide the knees to support the hips. And when you finish your next circle, start to reverse the direction. So hips and knees still moving in circles, but the opposite way. And after your next circle, you'll pause, squeeze the knees into the chest and belly one more time. And then release hands down to the ground, feet down to the ground. So soles of the feet on the ground, knees pointing up. And from here, you'll take your right arm and extend it out to the side, T position, but just the right arm. And the palm can face up. And then you'll slowly and gently tilt your whole body over to the right. So you're laying on your side. So knees on top of each other, right arm out. And then you'll take your left hand and place it right on top of the right hand. And from here on an inhale, you'll lift your left arm up. You can follow it with your gaze, and your chest opens. You have a slight twist as you reach the left hand behind you. And exhale to bring the left hand back to meet the right. So your knees stay in place, your lower body stays in place as the upper body inhales and opens into a twist. Left arm moves back, gaze can follow it, chest opens, spine twist. And exhale to bring the left arm back to the right. Move at your own pace here, breathing in as you open into the twist. Chest and shoulders open, left arm reaches, lower body stays nice and heavy. Speed of your breath determines the speed of your motion. And the next time your hands are closed again, you'll lift your left arm up along your ear and start drawing big circles with that left arm. So you draw the circle behind you, down around so your fingertips are pointing towards your knees, all the way back around to your fingertips. And you'll just continue these circles, reaching up, overhead, around to the back, fingertips down towards your knees. And you can feel free to roll the upper body along with the shoulder and the arm. And just free breathing here. Make sure the breath continues to move freely. And as you move through these circles, you're noticing, how do the different positions feel in your arm and your shoulder? Where is your body sending you messages of sensation? And if you find any places that are particularly sticky or calling for you to linger or stretch more, of course, feel free to do that. Take a couple more of these circles. And the next time your hands are together, you'll pause there. You can take the left arm, press it into the ground to help you lift up. And we'll just come over onto the other side to do the same thing. So you'll come down on your left side, knees bent and stacked on top of each other. This time the left arm reaches out. The right arm comes on top of it. And as you inhale, the right arm lifts, reaches up as you open into that gentle twist. And exhale to close the hands. Arms come together. Inhale as you reach up, the chest opens, the shoulder stretches, spine twists. And exhale. Gaze can follow the right fingertips. Breath moves steadily. Body moves smoothly. And the next time that your hands come together, you can start to move into those big shoulder circles. So taking the fingertips and extending them overhead, around back, the upper body can follow. Fingertips reach down towards the knees. The arms circling around. And imagine you could direct your breath exactly into the sensations. So wherever you're feeling a stretch, whatever sensations are happening in your shoulder, can you imagine sending the breath to those areas to go in and provide energy, nourishment, comfort? Take one or two more circles. And pause when the hands meet each other. This time you can take the right hand, press it into the ground to help yourself come up. And we'll come to sit on our heels. And so if this for any reason is uncomfortable for you, this is a place where if you have a block, you may like to sit on a block or some books. And if sitting back on your heels in no way works for you, this is totally fine cross-legged as well. I'll just be demonstrating from this position. So you'll take your hands, interlace them together. And as much as you can, bring the elbows towards touching. So they may not touch, but the intention of bringing them together is there. And you'll start to circle with the wrists. As you do this, see if you can keep some distance between the shoulders and the earlobes, maybe moving those shoulders down a bit. And reverse direction. And release the hands down. And we'll do some shoulder circles. So bringing the shoulders forward. So you're pulling your shoulder blades away from each other. So shoulders squeeze forward, up towards the ears, and then the shoulder blades as close as they can get on your back. And these really exaggerated shoulder circles. You'll find that your arms will follow, elbows bent or straight. So really squeeze the shoulders together in front of you and then squeeze them in the back. One more time in this direction. And then we'll reverse. So shoulder blades come as close as they can together. Lift them up towards the ears. The shoulder blades on the back move away from each other as the shoulders in front reach towards, and then completing the circle. And release the shoulders down. Take that right arm down beside you. Inhale to lift the left arm up. And exhale over to the side. Inhale up through center. Right arm lifts as left arm descends. Side bend over to the left. Inhale as both arms come through center, reaching upwards. And then over to the right side. Reach deeply through the fingertips. Inhale up through center. Moving with the breath. Slow and steady, as if your arms were like seaweed. And the next time the right arm comes down and left arm is reaching over, pause here for 3 breaths. You might find it supportive to move your neck. Your gaze can go down or up, or perhaps you stay in a gesture of movement. Reaching through those left fingertips as you continue for your 3 breaths. When your 3 breaths are complete, both arms up on the inhale, exhale over to the other side. So left arm is down on the ground, right arm reaches. Head stays in or moves in any position that is comfortable. And 3 breaths to sweep the air through the body. And both arms come up through center. And I exhale down. Take the palms to the thighs. Gaze can come downwards or the eyes can close. And just take a moment here to notice how you feel. What's the quality in the shoulders? What do you notice about the breath? Every posture, every movement leaves a residue. And so by pausing after some movement, we can feel the imprint of the posture. And just notice the effect that it has had on our body. So from here, we're going to come into a tabletop position. So any props can move out of the way. If you're someone who likes to have cushion underneath your knees, feel free to fold the mat underneath or set out a blanket or towel for yourself. We'll be in tabletop for 2 postures. So you want to set yourself up so that your wrists are directly beneath your shoulders. Your palms can be flat on the ground, or if that bothers your wrists for any reason, you can make fists, and then your arms are standing on fists. So either is definitely appropriate, and you can feel free to move and adjust throughout. Also, your knees are directly below your hips, and you're thinking of your spine as straight and long. So from tailbone to crown of the head is one steady line. And on the inhale, you will lift the crown of your head and lift the tailbone so that the spine arches as you fill up with air. And as you exhale, you'll start to tuck the chin at the same time as you tuck the tailbone and the spine rounds. Press into the hands, press into the into the shins and upper feet. Take an inhale, tailbone reaches up, crown of head reaches up, belly drops. And exhale to reverse. Chin tucks, tailbone tucks, and the whole spine rounds upward. Press into the ground. Everything touching the ground presses down. Neck hangs heavy. And slowly we'll move through these cat and cow motions. Feeling like every single vertebrae has a role in this. Every piece of the spine is moving, getting activated. See how exaggerated your movements can be, how different the curves can be between the belly dropped, tail up, head up, and the reverse where the tail curls, the chin curls down, and the spine arches upward. Let's do 2 more. Slowly breathing in and out. And slowly moving through the spine as you press through the hands, press through the shins and front of the feet. And you'll come back into a neutral spine. And here you might find it helpful to take your hands and walk them out maybe 2 inches ahead. We're going to start by breathing in and bringing our weight forward. Breathing out, weight goes back. Breathe in, weight forward, press into the hands, the hips drop. And exhale, the hips go back. Chin comes towards the knees. And as we cycle through this, take the range of motion that works for you. These can be slight forward and back movements, or you can drop your hips all the way down to the ground as your head looks up and come all the way back with hips sent fully back, forehead and chin towards the floor like a child's pose. So take whatever variation makes sense for the mobility that you're looking for in this moment. Keep the breath smooth. The movement between the inhale and exhale is your cue to move position. So as you inhale and come forward, once you're full of breath, the air comes out and the body starts to move back. When the air has been released, the breath comes in and the body moves forward. And after your next exhale, no rush to get there. Now come back into tabletop. Come up onto your fingertips. And you'll take one foot forward, then the other. Deep bend in the knees here, very deep bend. As much as you need to bend the knees to keep the hands contacted with the floor. Let the head hang heavy. The belly and ribs are touching the thighs. Do a couple breaths here. Feeling your feet press into the ground, then the support of your fingertips. Notice how the breath feels as the belly presses into the thigh. And then slowly start to lift. And as you come to stand, feet are beneath the hips, pressing into the ground. Legs are straight, yet kneecaps are still soft, not locked. You'll think of your tailbone dropping down as the sternum lifts up. Eyes straight ahead. Shoulders soft so that the arms can just rest by the sides. This is mountain pose. The Sanskrit word for mountain pose is Tadasana. And from here on an inhale, you'll start to lift the arms. Palms can be face down. You'll bend the knees and you'll send the hips back. And on your exhale, you'll lift up. Inhale, fingertips reach forward, palms face down, hips go back, knees bend. And exhale to come up. Again, let the cycles of breath determine your motion. As you inhale, you bend. Arms come forward, but when you are full of air and the exhale begins, you immediately start to straighten the body so that breath and body are one. Press into the feet. Reach through the fingertips. Keep a distance between shoulders and ears. And the next time that your legs are bent and your arms are forward with palms face down, see if you can pause here for 3 breaths. Gentle and slow. This is chair position, Utkatasana, sometimes referred to as awkward pose. Keep rooted through the feet, shoulders away from the ears, fingertips forward. And after your 3rd breath, you'll slowly and controlled come up. You'll inhale the arms again, palms face down. So you reach all the way up. And on the exhale, you're going to bring your arms down to the side, but can you send them ever so slightly behind you? So you're widening your wingspan, opening through the front of the chest as the shoulder blades reach towards each other. So you'll inhale, palms face down, fingertips reach up. And once you've reached fingertips towards the ceilings, can you bring your arms out to the side and back any amount so that you can feel an opening through the chest as you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Imagine the elbows and wrists are reaching towards each other. a few at your own pace. And while you're doing this, see if you can avoid sending your tail out and letting your ribs spill forward. Sometimes it's very easy to do something like this as you open the arms. See if you can keep yourself gathered in the ribs, the tail down a little bit, so that as you reach back, you're really getting the stretch in the chest. You might not have the same mobility, it's completely fine. You'll be getting a little bit more of the opening through the chest, through the pectorals. And the next time that the arms come behind you, see if you can rest them, fingertips pointed down on the lower back, pinkies as close to each other as they can be, thumbs pointed down. And then from here, again, seeing if you can keep your ribs contained, can you squeeze your elbows together? And as you squeeze your elbows together, can the shoulders come down away from the ears? So you might be feeling a lot of sensation right at the base of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Big release if you're someone who spends time driving, who spends time at a computer. So squeeze the shoulder blades down, elbows trying to meet one another. Ribs stay contained. One more breath here. And release. Take a moment here, returning to mountain pose, let the arms down by the sides. If it's comfortable for you to close the eyes or just gaze downward, and again, notice how you feel. What is the quality of the breath? What sensations do you notice in the shoulder area? And from here, we'll move through a repetitive sequence where we're aligning very simple movements with breath. And so I'll be guiding the first few and then modeling along with you. But like with anything, if you feel as if your breath is moving at a different speed, please honor that and follow your body. So with feet planted into the ground, arms down by the side, strong and tall mountain pose. Inhale the right arm up to the side, palm faces down. Exhale to bring the arm to the center. Inhale to bring the arm up overhead, palm faces in. Exhale. Inhale, left arm out to the side. Exhale, left arm comes forward. Inhale, the arm comes up. And exhale to pause. Here on your inhale, reach up through the fingertips as you lift your heels. Toes stay on the ground, so you're lifted up on your toes. Reach up. And on your exhale, arms start to come down, heels start to come down. As slow and controlled as you can. And so we'll repeat that sequence several times. Inhale, right arm goes up. Exhale, right arm to the center. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale to pause. Inhale, left arm is up. Exhale, left arm forward. Inhale, arm reaches up. Exhale to pause. Feel your shoulders move away from your ears at the same time your fingertips reach up. On the inhale, fingertips lift you, heels lift as well. You can pause here, hold and retain the breath for a moment if you like. And when you feel ready, you choose to exhale. Slowly move the heels down, arms follow as well. So a simple repetitive movement to unify body and breath. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, right arm forward. Inhale, right arm reaches up overhead. Exhale to stay. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, bring that arm in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arm above the head and exhale to pause. Inhale as you reach up through the fingertips, lift the heels. If you'd like, pause to retain the breath. Hold this reaching and balancing, and exhale to slowly lower. And repeat this one more time. Inhale, right arm reaches out to the side, palm face down. Exhale, bring that arm in front of you. Inhale, right arm reaches up overhead, and exhale to pause. Inhale, opposite arm lifts out to the side with the palm facing down. Fingertips reach towards the front and steer the arm to the front of the body. Inhale to lift the arm. Exhale, pause. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips, lift the heels. Hold here to retain the breath, retain the balance as long as you'd like, and then slowly make your way down. And here you'll find your way to the top of your mat. Placing the hands on the hips. Both feet are symmetrically anchored into the ground. From here, on an inhale, you'll step onto your left foot, lift the right foot up, send it behind you, and step it back about a leg's length away from you. You're still on the ball of your foot, so the heel points back, the toe points forward. You have a bend in the front leg, the left leg. Hips are square to the front. Take a breath here in through the nose and side out through the mouth. Take your arms out to the side. Bring them behind your head and interlace them at the very bottom of your neck. And so here you're gently pressing into your head with your hands and into your hands with your head so that there's equal pressure in both directions. And see if you can open up the elbows any amount while keeping the front leg bent, hips squared forward, balanced on the back toes. Elbows reach toward each other. 3 breaths here. Invest the breath in any part of the body that may feel like the sensation is strong. The breath rushes in like a comforting friend. And after your 3rd breath, release the hands. And step to face the long edge of your mat, both feet facing forward, so your feet are parallel. And from here, you may want to widen the stance a little bit. And we'll bend the knees to one side and then to the next. So fingers can come to the ground. And we're just going to rotate from side to side. And as we do this, feel free to take the movements that feel the best for you in this stretch. That might mean walking hands over to the far sides of the mat to stretch the side body. That might mean reaching up overhead into a twist as you bend and straighten the knees. That might mean keeping both knees bent the whole time and just using the hands to crawl around the area in front of you. Or it might mean keeping both legs straight and just wiggling the hips from side to side. So take a few moments here to find the movement that best serves you. And throughout all of it, you keep a soft, easy breath. And after your next breath, you'll slowly pause the movement and begin to lift upward. Again, facing the long side of your mat. And from here, take the right foot and place it, turn it out so it's facing the short edge of your mat. We're going to shift our bodies, lift up the back foot, so we can take this warrior position on the other side. So here your front right leg is bent, knee directly over the ankle, so the shin is acting like a pillar. You see your left leg is straight to the back, heel is pointed up, toe is pointed forward. From here, you can bring your arms out to the side again, interlace them at the base of the skull. Head presses into hands, just like hands press into head, ever so slightly. And as you take 3 deep breaths, you're bringing the elbows toward each other. And as the elbows move toward each other, the shoulder blades on the back of your body move closer and your chest expands. After your 3rd breath, release the hands and step forward. Bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Gentle pause here, close the eyes or gaze downward, and notice the effects of that warrior variation. And as if you are moving in slow motion, take yourself gently back down to the mat. And you come down to a seat where your legs are extended out in front of you. If you're someone who has a blanket with you or some kind of fabric, you might find it nice to perch yourself onto that, sitting a bit at the edge. And this just gives the hips a little bit of lift. We're going to do 1 forward fold. So you want to feel yourself grounded onto both sits bones, legs extended out front. Inhale, the arms, fingertips reach up, long spine. And as you exhale, hinge forward any amount till you start to feel some sensation in the backs of the legs. Keep the arms by the ears for 1 more breath. And then you can gently bring the fingertips down to the ground. And keep the spine straight here. So you'll feel a stretch in the back of the legs. And your upper body might be quite far away, so we're not going for a soft spine bend over. We're keeping the integrity of the spine nice and straight. Breathe here for 3 breaths. Keep the stretch in the backs of the legs. And after your 3rd breath, gently bring yourself back up to upright. If you have any kind of cushion, just remove it and slowly make your way down onto your back. Just like we began class, soles of the feet on the ground, knees pointed up, hands by the sides of the palms face down. And we'll do 2 stretches for the hips. It's the figure 4 stretch. So leaving your left leg exactly like it is, you'll take the right leg lifted up and you'll place the right ankle above the left knee so that the ankle is at the thigh area. And then you will take your left leg lifted up, start to draw it in towards the body, and your hands can come around and either grab behind the left knee or in front of the left shin. And you move the whole leg structure, both legs, the lower body towards yourself, and you'll feel likely a sensation in the right hip, right buttock area. 3 breaths here. After your 3rd breath, you can release the grip on the left leg. Bring the left leg down to the ground. Right leg steps down to meet it. And so the process will be exactly the same on the other side. The right foot stays on the ground, knee pointing up. The left ankle is going to come above the right knee. And then the right leg lifts to gently guide the left leg in towards the chest. And you might grab underneath the left leg or in front, of the right leg or in front of the right shin. 3 breaths here. And after your 3rd breath, release the grip. Right leg comes down and left leg returns to the floor as well. And if there's anything that your body feels like it needs before we come into rest, please feel free to take those movements. And otherwise, we'll set up for our resting posture, Shavasana. Shavasana is typically taken on the back with the legs extended out, the arms out to the side with palms face up. But this is just one option. You might find it much more comfortable to stay on your back or have the hands on the belly or have the hands draped overhead. You might find that a side lying position is comfortable for you, or even on the belly, pillowing the hands as a resting spot for your forehead. And if none of those options suit you, you can find another one that you'd like. The goal in Shavasana is simply to be completely at ease, and even beyond ease, feeling a lot of comfort. It's the time we take just to absorb the yoga practice that we've done. So take a few moments to rest in whatever posture, lying or sitting, works best for you. And as you settle in, take a deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And feel the whole body grow soft, grow heavy. Let the breath gently pulse in and out. Can the hands release any gripping? The feet completely at ease. If you're on the ground, can the head feel completely supported so that it is fully at rest? The neck, the shoulders, soft and easy. Arms and legs heavy. Belly completely free and relaxed. If you're in a space where you can continue to rest and that sounds appealing for you, feel free to stay in your resting position. And if you are feeling complete in that posture and would like to gently start moving your way up to a seated posture to conclude class, please begin to do that and see if it can take you at least 3 breaths to come up, 3 of the slowest, longest, deepest breaths of the day. So lots of care and ease as you find your way up to a seated position. No rush to get there and no need to leave the resting posture if you're able to stay. As those of you coming up into a seated position make your way there, option if it is interesting to you to bring the hands over the heart. So laying one hand on top of the other on the chest. And notice the beating of your own heart constantly with you. Notice the rise and fall of the breath, cycles of breath that are always with you. And notice how you feel in your body. What is the imprint of this hour of practice and care? The residue of having taken some time to breathe and move with intention. We'll wrap up our time together with one collective breath. Breathe in through the nose, fill up the belly, ribs and chest with air, and sigh it out and exhale through the mouth. Thank you for spending time together with me and Hands to Heart Center. I wish you a lovely weekend, and thank you to both Boston Public Library and Hands to Heart Center for hosting this program. Be well.